Thank you. We'll bring the meeting here tonight, Monday, July 23rd, 2018, here at Weyburn Council Chambers. Tonight we have Councillor Mickle is missing with us. One of the first order of business is the approval of the minutes of the regular council and strategic planning and priorities meeting held June 25th, 2018. Do I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion, Your Worship.
Second?
I'll second, Your Worship.
All in favor? Carried unanimously. Do we have any additions to the agenda?
No further additions from administration.
Council? No? Moving forward, there are no public hearings and notices, no delegations, proclamations, or petitions at this point in time. We will have a report on our standing committees from the Police Commission. Mr. Van Betju.
Thank you, Your Worship. A regular meeting of the Weyburn Police Commission was held in the Administration Boardroom at 4 p.m. Tuesday, July 17th. First item on the agenda was correspondence. Chief Pritchard advised of 3 letters of thanks to the police for doing their job, dealing with one was dealing with an intoxicated person at the Weyburn Fair, issuing a seatbelt ticket, and thanks to Officer Rutten for his handling of a sudden family death. In the Mayor's report, Chief Pritchard presented the Mayor's report for the month of June 2018. In June 2018 compared to June 2017, the crimes against person has increased by 5, crimes against property has increased by 5, total calls for service increased by 200, with the calls for service this year to date showing an increase of 4.7% or 133. Chief Pritchard reported the following on the verbal report. Partnering with Estevan RCMP to do lectures in fall at schools and working on the syllabus. Cannabis training developed by Saskatchewan Police College will roll out in early September and will be 2 to 4 hours per member. Police College coordinated field sobriety testing. Legislative training will be done online so members of the Police Commission can take it if they wish. August, they are doing positive ticketing province-wide and Weyburn Police Service is participating. The accounts payable report for June 2018 was presented and accepted. Chief Pritchard provided a bylaw enforcement activity report for June 2018. Total investigations to date are at 50, with majority either being complied with or ongoing, with no charges being laid in 2018. There were 30 parking tickets issued in June. Humane Society report. Chief Pritchard presented the Weyburn Humane Society stat report for June 2018. There were a total of 19 calls, a total of 44 animals entered into the shelter and 46 animals outgoing. The total amount of dogs at the end of the month was 11 and cats was 20. There were no animals fostered in June. Meeting was ended, and next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, August 21st.
Is there any questions? No questions. With that, we'll make note that it's been received and filed. We have the consent agenda, water treatment plant report, the annual business license report, accounts receivable report, and the cash activity report. Do you have a motion to receive these in?
I'll make that motion, Your Worship, that we
do a second.
Receive these.
I'll second that, Your Worship.
All in favor? Carried. All those reports can be viewed on our city website if you wish to see them. We have some now motions. Do we have, first one is accounts payable. Do you have a motion, please? Accounts payable.
Sorry, Your Worship. got it buried.
Yeah.
I'd like to make the motion that the purchases in the amount of $1,982,411.03 for June 22nd to July 19th, 2018 be passed for payment.
Second.
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Discussion? If there's no discussion, all in favor? Carried unanimously. The next one is the appointment of official appointment of our city manager, Mr. Mathew Warren. Mr. Warren?
Thank you, Your Worship. So I'd like to thank City Council for the opportunity to become the city manager. I've been acting city manager for you guys since March, and it's been a really enjoyable experience for me. I'm starting to learn more about what we do as a city, to work closer with our departments, our directors, and with council, and to build greater knowledge of the community in whole. For me, my family will be raised here in this community. My wife was born and raised here. It's a really great community to live in, and I'm really thankful for the opportunity to continue to work with you guys, to continue to build a stronger and healthier community as we move forward, and thank you for the opportunity. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you're welcome, and we appreciate you taking the position, and we as council, speaking for council, that we are all very much in favor of our choice that you are our city administrator. Do we have a motion, please?
Yes, Your
Is there a
Worship.
motion?
I'm very pleased to make the motion that Mathew Warren be and is hereby appointed as city manager for the city of Weyburn as per section 84 of the Cities Act, with duties and responsibilities as defined in the city administration bylaw number 2003-2093.
Second?
Your Worship, I'll second that motion.
Any discussion or words? Go ahead, Mr. Richards.
Thanks, Your Worship. I'd just like to thank Matthew for sort of stepping up to the plate when we needed you most, and we appreciate that and your hard work, and you are raising your family here, and we appreciate that too, so we're looking forward to working with you for a long time to come.
Thank you.
With that, all in favor? Carried unanimously. And as you said, we look forward to you leading the team of all of our good managers and good workers within the city. Thank you. Our next one. Okay. No cue cards. No. Okay. We've got to get, we'll set a budget for that, okay? Applause meters and all that type of stuff. The next one is beer garden request at Clark Park, if you would, please.
Sure, we had a request for beer gardens at Clark Park for Saturday, July 28th, so coming up here this weekend from 9 until 5 o'clock. It's a fundraising event. Once again, they met all the requirements of Sask Liquor and Gaming. I'm just looking for approval for this event.
Do you have a motion, please?
Your Worship, I'd like to make the motion that council approve the request of Kari Hallberg to make application for the issuance of an outdoor liquor permit in conjunction with Clark Park Slow Pitch Tournament at Clark Park by Saskatchewan Liquor and Gaming Authority from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday, July 28th, 2018.
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Discussion? No discussion? With that, all in favor? Carried unanimously. Tax enforcement over half preceding year's levy. Mr. Warren?
Thank you, Your Worship. So just based on our tax enforcement policy, so this policy was amended by Council on November 8th of 2010. We go through a certain process of maintaining the most efficient method of collecting taxes and keeping equitable payments scheduled for residents of Weyburn. So we have actually three areas I'll be talking about. So the first one, like you said, will be the half-year payments for those. So we have a report that's up on the screen for you guys to look at. We have properties that are outstanding from 2017. And right now, we're moving into 60-day lien for those properties. 10% was added on these properties as of July 1st of 2018. And the deadline for the supplemental roll was actually on June 30th of 2018. So just looking for a motion for this list of residents for this.
Your Worship, I'll make a motion that the tax enforcement arrears list for 2017 presented by the City Assessor as per Section 3 of the Tax Enforcement Act be accepted as presented.
I'll second that, Your Worship.
All in favor? Carried unanimously. The next tax enforcement, serve 6 months' notice.
So this once again from our city assessor, Teresa Hicks. The 6-month notice goes to everyone who is entitled for these properties, which usually includes the banking institution that the property is mortgaged through. The 6-month notice gives the property owners and anyone else who has anything to do with the property 6 months to pay the taxes outstanding on the property before sending consent of title to the Province Mediation Board.
Your Worship, I'll make a motion that the City Assessor be authorized to continue under Section 23 of the Tax Enforcement Act to acquire title for the lands listed as follows for a total of $4,431. Lot 33, 34, 36, Block 2A, Plan AP 5285, $2,889.21, and Lot 17, Block 38, Plan S1405, $1,541.97.
Second?
I'll second that, Your Worship.
All in favor? Carried unanimously. Tax enforcement consent for title?
So the last report from our City Assessor, Your Worship, is regarding the tax enforcement. So these property owners have already received a 6-month notice and have not paid the outstanding taxes. Next step is to send a letter to the Province of Provincial Mediation Board and asking for consent for title on these properties. The cost to do this is $20 per property. Once the Provincial Mediation Board is notified, they'll be contact these property owners and try to get them onto an online payment or onto a payment plan. If they do not make contact, they will give permission for consent of title.
Do you have a motion?
Thanks, Your Worship. I'll motion that Council authorize the Director of Finance to begin proceedings with the Provincial Mediation Board for title on the properties presented, with tax liens totaling $39,511.62 as set out under Section 24 of the Tax Enforcement Act as presented 6 months ago.
Do you have a second?
I'll second it, Your Worship.
Amanda? No. All in favor? Carried unanimously. The outdoor liquor request, Weyburn Minor Football.
Yes, Your Worship. So we have a request from Weyburn Minor Football for a liquor permit once again for an outdoor event on August 25th. So we're looking at having a showing of a Rough Rider game, actually. It's a road game against the BC Lions. So we're looking at having a beer garden set up from 6 till 11 o'clock at night. Once again, they followed all the stuff through SAS Liquor and Gaming, and we have no issue with this request. Just need approval from you guys.
With that, Your Worship, I'd like to move that the Council approve the request from Weyburn Minor Football to make application for the assurance of an outdoor liquor permit in conjunction with the fundraising event to be held at the Weyburn Comprehensive Football Field to the Saskatchewan Liquor and Gaming Authority from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. on Saturday, August 25th, 2018.
I'll
Worship.
second that.
I'd like to second that motion, please.
Everybody's anxious. Very good. So we have beer gardens. So with that, all in favor? Carried unanimously.
Thank you, Your Worship.
The next note, we've got the introduction of bylaws. The first one is the street closure, Pittman Rd, and I'll let Ms. Kaufman, you say your words there, please.
We've had a request received from Knight Real Estate Incorporated for the closure and sale of an undeveloped street, as shown on the map over there, north of their property, which they just purchased at 1225 Pittman Road. The portion of the street to be closed is lying east and west from the intersection of Queen Street to Grace Street and will be consolidated with 1225 Pittman Road. In the official community plan, the Grun Trunk Place is south of Highway 39 and will continue to be devoted to mainly industrial use. However, this one site is zoned highway commercial. Public notification, as per the Cities Act and the public notice policy, were posted on July 11th and 18th in the issues of the Weyburn Review, as well as the city webpage and City Hall. Neighborhood notices were also circulated on July 12th to any landowners within a 75-meter radius of the property and the arm of Weyburn, with no comments received. Staff recommends that Pittman Road is an undeveloped road and has no purpose for use as a roadway, as it does not provide any street access or exit to any property adjacent to the road. As well, Pittman Road is not utilized as a road by the traveling public. Therefore, staff recommends that council give first, second, and third reading to bylaw 2018-3382, a bylaw to authorize the sale and closure of Pittman Road.
Your Worship, with that, I'd like to move that bylaw 2018-3382 to allow the closure of the portion of Pittman Road lying east and west between Gray Street and Queen Street be read a first time.
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Discussion?
Thanks, Your Worship. Amanda, just want to be sure when reviewing this that we dead end that street. It was brought to my attention that
Yes.
that we dead end that properly.
Yeah, we do have to create a turnaround, and which there's lots of room in the drainage ditch just to the west of Grace Street there. So right now there's a temporary turnaround created, but yeah, we will have to register a legal one.
Thank you.
Yep.
Ms. Van Betcher?
Just on a separate note, I just wonder, since that we're going to be eliminating Pittman Road, whether we can take that name and put it to the street naming committee so that it be considered if another road comes up?
Yeah, we do have a future industrial development to the south of Pittman Road, and we can easily fit it into there as a road, as it's already been approved to be a street name.
Thank you.
With that, no further discussion. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Second reading?
Yes, Your Worship, I'd like to make the motion that bylaw 2018-3382 to allow for the closure of portion of Pittman Road lying east and west between Grace Street and Queen Street be read a second time.
I'll second that, Your Worship.
All in favor? Carried unanimously. Next.
Your Worship, I make the move that bylaw 2018-3382 to allow the closure for the portion of Pittman Road lying east and west between Grace Street and Queen Street be given 3 readings at this meeting.
I'll second that, Your Worship.
All in favor? Carried unanimously.
And, Your Worship, I'd like to move that bylaw 2018-3382 to allow the closure of the portion of Pittman Road lying east and west between Grace Street and Queen Street be read a third time and passed.
All in favor, or second?
I'll second that, Your Worship.
All in favor? Getting ahead of myself. Thank you. Carried unanimously. Very good. So Pittman Road is now closed. The next bylaw zoning amendment to allow for cannabis retail stores. Mr. Warren? Or Amanda? Again?
With the legalization of recreational cannabis slated for October 2018 and the awarding of permitted retailers, the City of Weyburn need to incorporate minimum standards and regulations into the zoning bylaw for future development of these retail stores. The following amendments are proposed to bylaw 2003-2099. Cannabis retail store be added as a definition, being a retail store which is permitted pursuant to the provincial legislation and regulations, authorized in the sale of non-medicinal cannabis and cannabis-related accessories. Cannabis retail stores be added as a discretionary use in the following zones: CBDA, which is a central business district, MAC, major arterial commercial, and LI, light industrial. And that the following section be added: 7.3.4, Cannabis Retail Store Development Regulations. The following regulations are in place for the development of cannabis retail stores and are intended to provide appropriate locations in order to protect surrounding uses from potential adverse effects. A discretionary use development permit is required for the development of a cannabis retail store. Applications may be made in a prescribed form available from the development officer. All completed applications shall include the current approved cannabis retail store permit as issued by Saskatchewan Liquor and Gaming Authority, as well as the required information set out in 4.4.2. Cannabis retail stores shall comply with all federal and provincial acts and regulations, as well as municipal bylaws and regulations. The operation of cannabis retail stores under the authority of the Saskatchewan Liquor and Gaming Authority. Drive-through service for cannabis retail stores is prohibited. Cannabis retail stores shall comply with all security requirements as set out by Saskatchewan Liquor and Gaming Authority. All products related to the operation of a cannabis retail store shall be stored on-site and shall be secured and protected from theft. Off-site storage of products related to the cannabis retail store is prohibited. No person shall develop a cannabis retail store within 200-meter radius of the following: another approved cannabis retail store, any elementary school or high school, any nursery school or commercial daycare center, any social service home or halfway house. Staff recommends that Council give Bylaw 2018-3383 first reading. After the first reading is given, staff will proceed with advertising and public hearing, and this bylaw will come back to the August 27th, 2018 meeting at Council.
Do you have a motion?
Your worship, I'll move that bylaw 2018-3383 to amend city zoning bylaw 2003-2099 for the purpose of incorporating minimum standards and regulations for the future development of cannabis retail stores in the city of Weyburn be read a first time, and further to be brought back for public hearing to the regular council meeting on August 27th, 2018.
Second?
I'll second that, your worship.
Discussion? Mr. Bailey.
Thank you, Your Worship. Amanda, we've seen lots of stuff in the media on regulations, especially Regina, Saskatoon and that. So are these qualifications and regulations kind of typical of what we've seen come forth from the provincial government?
I have printed, I don't have Regina's proposed amendment to their zoning bylaw, but they are in the same radius. They're going 600 feet. They're going the same radius away from the same uses, the schools and the nursery schools and the daycares. So far, every city that I've looked at, they're all proposing the discretionary use permit for the development of these stores. The only city that had a lesser radius than us, and I have it, I believe was Moose Jaw. Moose Jaw was 166 meters from any school, 83 from any public parks, daycares, library, or public recreation facility, and 60 meters around Crescent Park.
Okay, thank you. If just another question, if there's something else in this development, federally and provincially, we would, if we pass this, we would simply have to amend it to follow their regulations?
Yeah, we have to follow their
Okay,
legislation and
thank you.
regulations. Yeah.
Any other discussion? One question that I have, there's nothing in there about times, hours of business. Do we have to put that in?
We don't have to put that in. That is also under the federal legislation too. We can heighten it. It's till 3 a.m. They're allowed to be open to. We can heighten that regulation and have it a lesser time, or we can leave it as is.
You can just leave it as is and
Yep.
see whether it has
Same
any
as liquor stores. Yep.
So, okay. All in favor? Call the question. All in favor? Carried unanimously. First reading is done. It'll come back August 20. Will this give him being the, I should say them, being the retailers enough time to get ready?
If they had a place that they wanted to do, depending on what work they required to get the retail outlet up and running, yes, it would. Discretionary use permit would take about 3 weeks for public notice and council approval. So if we passed it at the...
But I'm saying with August 27th, we do a
Yep.
reading. Will that be second and third reading?
Yes.
And so then after that, 3 weeks, August, September,
Yep.
leaves them about a month or 3 or 4 weeks left.
It would give them till October 18th, so that would give them 2.5 months,
Right.
or 2 months.
Okay. Thank you. Good enough. The unfinished business, no unfinished business, new business, request for rural water hookup. Engineering.
Graham and Lisa Webb has requested approval for hookup for one new residential water service. The site is approximately 1 mile from Weyburn city limits, and the owner have confirmed its satisfactory sewage hauling arrangement. It is recommended that the following request to be approved for residential water service after paying the connection fees.
Mr. Warren, do you have any comments? No?
I have a motion, Your Worship. Make a motion that the request from the Weyburn Utility Board for access to the rural water pipeline for the following applicants be approved, subject to fulfilling the City of Weyburn and the Weyburn Utility Board residential water hookup requirements, and that is from Graham and Lisa Webb for the northwest of 34 8 of 14 west of the 2nd, Lot 8L.
Your Worship, I'd like to second that motion.
Discussion? Mr. Keshta, just one question. With all these different ones hooking up, with our new reservoir, water reservoir being built, we still have, I can't say unlimited, but we'll have more than ample amount of supply of water for many more homes to be hooked up. Is that good? Should be? Yeah. Very good. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Home occupation, auto detailing. Mr. Warren.
So the request for home occupation. So it goes through all the proper processes for the home occupation request. So we're looking at Gerald St. Hilaire to operate automobile cleaning and detailing business from his residence at 518 11th Street. And so it goes through R1 zone for that. So there's been a notice put forward for that, and there was no concerns put forth for the request for the business.
Ms. Koff.
You want to touch on that more?
The typical routine for home occupation, we sent out the neighborhood notices. Nothing has come back, so staff recommends that we approve the home occupation for automobile cleaning and detailing at 518 11th Street Northeast with the following conditions. No person other than the resident of the dwelling unit shall be engaged in the home occupation as an employee or volunteer. No advertisement carrying out the address of the dwelling in which the home occupation occurs may be placed in any media. The face of any home business sign on site must not exceed .092 meters squared and shall be placed on the inside half of the front yard setback. Home occupations are subject to periodic review to ensure compliance. Owner's driveway shall be used for off-street parking for clients. No welding is permitted for any home occupation, and a City of Weyburn business license shall be obtained prior to the operation of the home occupation.
Your Worship, I'd like to make a motion that the application for a home occupation from Gerald St. Hilaire to operate an automobile cleaning detailing business from his residence at 518 11th Street Northeast, Lot 1517, Block 4A, Plan AP 5285, be approved with the conditions presented.
Second.
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Discussion? Mr. Richards.
Thanks, Your Worship. Mrs. Coppin, thanks for this. Well put together. I'm excited about these, again, getting these home occupation permits because I think this is good for the city. I'm interested and pleased, number one, that we didn't get any objections from neighbors. I'm also just want to point out that there is hours of operations restrictions on this particular one. I assume that's due to the use of pressure washers or things like that, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So we won't hear pressure washers running in the evening? Or?
No, he's only going to be working to the afternoon. He is a retired gentleman who's just doing this on the side, trying it out. So he was just going to work till early afternoon. He has no intention of working later at night.
Thank you.
No further discussion? Then we shall call the question. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Another home occupation, which you're excited to hear about. There you go. We have a hair salon. City. Amanda?
An application has been received from Hollywick to operate a hair salon business from a residence in the basement at 28 8th Avenue Southeast, located in R2 zone in the Mountain View subdivision. The business will operate between the hours of 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. from Tuesday through Friday by appointment only, with minimal anticipated increase to traffic flow. Therefore, neighborhood notices were mailed out on June 20th, 2018 to all neighbors in 75-meter radius of the applicant's home, and no objections or issues were received from the neighborhood notice. Staff recommends the approval of the home occupation for a hair salon at 28 8th Avenue Southeast be approved with the following conditions. No person other than the resident of the dwelling unit shall be engaged in the home occupation as an employee or volunteer. No advertisement carrying out the address of the dwelling which the home occupation occurs shall be placed in any media. The face of any home business sign on site shall not exceed .092 meters squared. It must be placed within the inside half of the front yard setback. Home occupations are subject to periodic review to ensure compliance. Owner's driveway shall be used for off-street parking for clients, and City of Weyburn business license shall be obtained prior to operation of home occupation.
Your worship, I'll make a motion that the application for home occupation from Holly Wick to operate a hair salon business from her residence at 28 8th Ave Southeast, Lot 17, Block 64, Plan 99 SE 38080 be approved with the conditions presented.
I'll second that, your worship.
If there's no further discussion, all in favor? Carried unanimously. We are now moving forward to, there's no inquiries and announcements. I guess the only announcement is that our next council meeting will not be until August 20th. Pardon? August 13th?
August 13th is next council.
August 13th?
Yep.
On there. Will be August 13th. And at which time, and you kind of threw me because I was thinking that we were off again. You took 2 weeks for the 25th there. So, but August 13th will be our next council meeting. Are there any announcements or inquiries of any of the council or city manager? No, there's no notice of motion, no request for clarification, no committee of the whole. So at this point in time, I call this meeting adjourned.